Alright, hi everyone. Today just want to look at um, some Khurasan miniatures because I've been thinking about some projects I want to tackle when I can actually wargame again. Because as I mentioned in some other videos, if you're new to the channel, currently I'm in a position where I can't really afford miniatures, and even if I could, I don't really have the space to work on them and to game and all that, unfortunately. Living in Turkey, a lot to like about it, but unfortunately, miniatures, even if you order them from abroad, it's quite expensive when you're paying in a non-Western currency. Anyway, but I've had an idea for a long time to do the Battle of Ankara, which happened in 1402, and that was between the the Empire of Timur Lang, so kind of what he was a successor to the Mongol Khanates, and in 1402 he battles, like it says in the map, he battles Sultan Bayezid I, who dies, and basically his army was intervening on behalf of the it's not on here, but basically the smaller Turkish principalities in the region, who thought the Ottoman Sultanate at this point was, getting too big for its, getting too powerful. I'm not sure why this map has Constantinople marked as part of the Ottoman realm, but anyway. And then Khurasan itself, if you're not familiar, is kind of this region in here near the Caspian and Transoxiana, so this Central Asian region. There's a lot of history about that, and if you're interested in reading about this stuff, there's a lot of books you can read, but these two are interesting. This is in the earlier period, so this is about the Ghaznavid Empire. In basically this was the early one of the Turco-Mongol, Turkish empires in Iran and Persia, and the author Clifford Edmund Bosworth was a pretty accomplished Orientalist scholar, very good. So I've been reading this off and on, and he also wrote a follow-up, the later Ghaznavids, about the end of their sort of state. You can borrow those on Internet Archive and also on LibGen. And then this is what the map looks like later on. This is the Ottoman Empire, and this is the Khanate of Burkhara. So what this is showing basically is how you have the Ottomans and the Burkharans, or the Uzbeks, that are Sunni Muslim, and the Safavid Empire is Shi'i. So two different sects in Islam, and they battle for sort of dominance in this region, especially here in Mesopotamia, Caucasus, and then in Khurasan, Central Asia. So, interesting conflict, something I study in real life. But of course, it's not all about religion. You've got a lot of the problems, contentions, especially here, is about semi-nomadic or nomadic tribes that kind of float between both powers. So the border is always hard to kind of establish. Anyway, but we're talking about miniatures today, so I think that's enough of the history. The Battle of Ankara, I wanted to do this project for a while, and I think they have a good range to do it with. Let's see, we've got Ottoman Turks. I think they've got some good stuff here, especially for doing the earlier periods. Got high command, looks nice. The beer, my Bison the First. I have heard of, I had known about Khurasan Miniatures before, but I was kind of afraid of trying to paint smaller scale because mostly I had done 28 millimeter. I still mostly have done 28 millimeter, but I think after painting enough Flames of War, I'm kind of more confident in painting smaller scales, especially because I think those are. I'm going to check this real quick because this Flames of War scale. Because I think the figures are they 15 millimeter or are they something different? Models, one 15 millimeter, one 100. Okay, so yeah, about the size of Flames of War. Just opening. I have a separate tab open. Just curious what the comparison is between. Oh, okay. So I have an image pulled up in a different window that shows the 15 millimeter of Blue Moon is slightly bigger than the 15 millimeter for Flames of War, so they are a little bigger. Oh, okay. So yeah, they're not as not nearly as small as I thought, but still smaller scale. But I think anyway, the point is these would be better for doing a large battle like Ankara, especially because you need a lot of things massed up. Akinji. Have cavalry looks nice. Set contains 3 lances, 3 with saber, 6 shooting bows. All have archery equipment. 4 breakaways for forward shooting positions. Okay, that's pretty cool. And for Ankara, representing Battle of Ankara, I'd have to get some knights because they had Serbian knights in plate armor with them. So probably use some of their. Let's see, we got late 12th century. Actually, I think that's what they had. 100 Years' War somewhere. Yeah, I'd probably use 100 Years' War if they have some guys with plate mail to represent the Serbians. These look pretty cool. I do find stuff visually appealing, but the history of it, it's I don't know, it's just not for me. And there's plenty of stuff on YouTube anyway about it. A lot of great channels like so. So that's the Ottoman range. They look pretty good. Although I would like to compare the Wargamer Poland Ottomans. Excuse me. Let's go to the Timurid range. So another reason why I think it might be better to do Ankara in 15 millimeters because I think it would be awesome to have it represented in 28 millimeter. It would look really cool, but it would be a lot of work and also cost a lot of money because these war elephants are only $9.99 compared to the price of the gripping beast ones, which isn't. They're not. I mean, the gripping beast prices aren't ridiculous, but it's just a lot. Especially when you need quite a few. So they've got plenty of Turkomans that look nice. Timurid cavalry. Timurid generals. Cavalry command. This is interesting. Hostages driven in front of the army. There's some infantry archers. Yeah, I like these the ranges that they have. They're very interesting. Definitely a lot of stuff that the kind of thing I like. Things I like to share on the channel and I like to game. Um, let's see. Safavid Persians. So this is something I got excited because I was looking for a 28mm range of Safavids, but there's not really that many options. But this is a pretty good range, especially because, and they have a nice write-up about the dynasty. So again, this is the Shi'i Persian dynasty, and let's see, they have the Ghulam. So these are like the royal elite bodyguards. The Ghulam are kind of sort of the Safavid version of the Janissaries. So you have like, it would take like Armenian and Georgians and make them, elite soldiers. So they have Shah Abbas, or it could be any Safavid Shah. I've really wanted to do some Safavids because it would be fun to kind of mix up the Ottoman battles because, of course, there's a lot of Ottoman warfare with the West, undeniably, but they had a lot of battles in the East too that were a lot more costly for the Ottomans too. So kind of interesting, and the dynamic was a little different because it was a lot more based on a maneuver, not so much on the sieges necessarily. You've got the tribesmen, and they also have the Kizilbashes. I clicked on the wrong one. Where are they? There they are, yeah. So the Kizilbash, so it's kind of a slur, but or was at that time, but so it means red head in Turkish literally, but they were the Turkomans that kind of rebelled against Ottoman authority in the early 1500s, and then they convert to Shi'i Islam, and then they kind of become the backbone of the Safavid military power and the power and the political apparatus in the state, Safavid state. And they also caused a lot of problems for the Ottomans in eastern Anatolia. Their descendants are still alive in Turkey today, but they're called Alevis. As far as I know, they're not doing any kind of horseback archery fighting. But yeah, that was a little joke. But they're basically the nomadic or semi-nomadic cavalry. So yeah, I think this would be an interesting force to put on the table. Again, I think a lot of this stuff I'd have to get into doing convention games because I don't really know anyone, even back in the U.S., that would be interested in wargaming this sort of esoteric subject. I do like these. I don't really know that much of the history about the Safavid household, like Imperial Musketeers, the Tufengchi, but I do like the color on these. That's really striking, and they have a illustration here of one nice red uniform. Quite interesting. Very decorated too. Then the design on the gun is the musket is very similar to an Ottoman musket with that sort of high. I don't know how to describe it, but it's kind of different from a European musket where they have this large kind of block at the end of the barrel. I don't know if that made it stronger or something, but that's common. You can at the Istanbul Military Museum. I was looking at the firearms collection that they had on display there, which is fantastic. And they had a lot of muskets like that. Kular cavalry. Oh, those look pretty neat. They also have artillery. Now, one thing is, 16th century Safavids didn't have as much artillery as the Ottomans, and part of that was just mobility. I mean, Iran is a pretty mountainous country. It's hard to move things around. I mean, even the Ottomans, it was kind of hard to move their guns in certain areas. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to read more about this. This seems more like Shah Abbas. Some of this stuff, 17th century, which was kind of a golden age for Persia. Let's see how we're doing on time here. 15 minutes. I'll just look at the late 16th century armies real quick for the Europeans, because this is more of what I wanted to represent in my pike and shot collection, but I didn't. I bought the wrong miniatures. I bought the 30 Years War ones, thinking it was sort of the clothing was similar enough at the end of the 16th century to fit, but it's really not the case based on a lot of the woodcuts and stuff and engravings I've looked at. But I think I'd probably want to get some of these guys later. Yeah, this is definitely what I need. Later lands next. Yeah, looks like a nice range. So I think I'll wrap it up there. I hope you enjoyed the video. I didn't get into these two ranges, which are also interesting, just in the sake of keeping the video kind of concise. But yeah, I hope you liked it. If you have any comments, please leave them. I'm kind of in a situation of I really miss painting miniatures and doing real world wargaming, so this is the best I can do for now. So I'll hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you in the next one.